I think I can speak for most men when I say we want to have better sex. And for the sake of our partner, we may need to have better sex, fellas. Because no one likes it when you bring a wet noodle to a barbecue party. Write that down. The issue is that over-the-counter erection pills contain unregulated chemicals, suggest unsafe doses, and include the risk of several other health problems. And who wants that? It's like those drug prescription ads where everybody's like sitting there playing volleyball at the beach, but they're dying of herpes. Not cool. That's why we partnered with our friends over at Joy Mode. Whether you're looking to spice up your intimate moments or increase your confidence in the bedroom, Joy Mode makes all natural and science-backed supplements dedicated to helping men perform better across their core functions. Oh, yeah. The trademark product, the sexual performance booster, is every man's solution for increased blood flow down below, firmness, stamina, and performance of your favorite friend. It's like a pre-workout but for your buddy down below. And let me tell you, it works. And the best part, the product is totally safe. All ingredients have been assessed in peer-reviewed journals. All ingredients have been studied and researched in humans. It comes in a palm-sized little packet, like your favorite electrolyte powder. Just simply mix one of these bad boys right in with 6 to 8 ounces of water, 45 minutes before sexual activity, and watch the magic unfold. Literally. Like, you know when you start blowing up an inflatable castle? It's sort of like that, but down below. But it's time to redefine your intimacy and go to usejoymode.com for 20% off with promo code FratChat. Oh, yeah, that's 20% off and free shipping with promo code FratChat at usejoymode.com. Ingredients with integrity, it's Joy Mode, baby. And we are recording, Mr. Mao. And
all right.
I'm going to be very unprofessional because I totally forgot to test this before, but can you hear this cum sound?
Oh,
yes, Simo.
Oh, yes, I can.
Good. Just want to make sure that you could hear this cum sound. Oh, yes, Simo. It's not when you get started.
I don't think cum sounds like that. I think it's like... Things are like...
Well, you should see my notes. Anyways, we're gonna do this and 3, 2, 1. Oh yes, Simo. What are you doing?
Testes in my mouth.
Get on the ground, you fucking pledge.
Ew.
Welcome to the greatest podcast experience of your life. This is the FratChat Podcast.
All young men like 3 things. Food, booze, pussy.
Featuring Carlos Garcia and Chris
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the greatest podcast in the history of podcasting time. It's the FratChat Podcast. I'm Carlos Garcia with Chris Moore. How's it going, Mr. Moose?
Good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. You're rocking kind of like a redneck beer drinker vibe right now.
Yeah.
Shirt. You look like
I'm drinking water. You know what?
You better give me a Miller Lite or else.
You know, I haven't been drinking that much lately. In the last few weeks, I just haven't been motivated to get smashed.
Are you okay? Like, should we call someone?
I don't know. You know, I will do a shot over the phone with my mom every night because we do a family shot.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That's not normal. That's like alcoholism, Simo.
Every night we go on FaceTime, we check in with each other's day, and we do a shot every night.
Been doing it every night since he was 12. Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm just gonna let that one.
I don't drink to excess. So I do have a shot every night. I have for years.
Just to keep shaking going away.
Keep from shaking. But as far as like going out and getting shit faced at the bar, I just feel like I spend so much money at the bars
That's true.
It's so
New York
easy.
City bars. And the thing with drinking is the more you do, the more generous with your money you get, and the more expensive it gets. So you start out like, oh, I'm gonna have 2 drinks. This is cool. Don't worry about it. And then like 6 beers later, it's like, hey, I'm feeling pretty good. You wanna ride with me? You know. And then 12 beers later, shots for everybody. Fuck yeah! You know. It's a thing. It's definitely a thing.
So let me ask you a bar question.
Go on.
Let's say a shot is $10. And let's say you just ordered a round of shots for 10 people. That's $100.
Yeah.
Do you think it's appropriate in that situation to give them $1 per drink, or do you think it's appropriate to give them $20 tip, which would be 20%? And keep in mind, they just literally poured out of 1 bottle in 10 small glasses, 10 shots.
Yeah, no. They're getting, especially if they're fucking me like that. If I get 10 shots and they don't even give me a little bit of a discount, they're getting $1 per drink, if that, because that's still a $10 tip. I might give them like $6 in that case, to be honest, at most. Whatever I have left, here you go. Because fuck that. Now, if they're like, oh shit, man, you got 10 shots, that's dope. I'll make it 80. You know, then I'll give them fucking like 110. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, here you go, bro. That's good customer service. I'd spend even more than I would have spent otherwise, but here you go, bro. You earned the difference. You know, so especially with bartenders, they have the power, dude. They can make your night very cheap if they want to. It is not a big deal. Like, most bars don't check the alcohol levels, but even the ones that do, it's like accounting. They have like a little bit that they know, like the bartender's going to give away, give a shot to the hot girl to bring everyone, like the group of 6 to come in. It's just what they do. So, they hook a brother up. I hook a brother up.
I feel like there's a psychological difference between a $10 cash tip versus a 20% credit card tip. So I feel like if I give them $10 in cash, I feel like a hero because they're like, oh, great, thanks. But if I were to tip less than 20% on a credit card transaction, they look at me like cheap. You know what I mean?
That's true. But for example, this one time I went to see our good buddy and producer of the show theme song, Gazzo, play in a New York City club. And I got a round of 8 shots. And it wasn't like just a simple pour, but it was a basic shot. It was like a it was like Jaeger bombs. Yeah, like a kamikaze Jaeger bomb, something like that. Well, I get the 8 shots. I said, these are on me, you guys. The tab comes, and it was $248. And I just stared. I'm like, 240. Excuse me. I think you like added some extra drinks to my tab. I got 8 of these very simple these simple drinks. So let's say Jaeger bomb. I got 8 Jaeger bombs and $248. Like, no, that's what it costs. I was like, really? It's like, what, are you going to pay up or what? Yeah, I was like, I guess. I like, and so I literally was like, okay, I had just gotten there, paid my tab. So I'm not going to get beat up by security guard on top of it. And I literally walked to the PATH train. I was like, that's it. Sorry, guys. I spent more money than I wanted for the next 2 nights already in this one drink. I'm out of here. I can't afford to be here. I think it was Lavo in New York City. God. It was pricey. I've never seen something like that in my life. Like, I've never felt so poor either. Where the bartender was looking at me like I'm like the scumbag for wondering why 8 very basic shots cost $248. So I literally if to tip 20% on that, that's like $48. Literally. It's like, nope. You got $6, homie. You piece of shit. See ya. And then I walked my ass, and it was very far walk to the PATH. I had to take a cab from the PATH there because it was so far. But I was like, nope, can't even afford a cab. Like, gotta walk. It was like $40.
You know,
Oh
there,
man.
there's been times I've been to bars and the mixologist appears to take his job almost too seriously because, yes, I do think that mixing drinks is an art, but I also think that the average person appreciates efficiency above all else. And so if it requires you to spend 5 minutes on one drink making it perfect, you've already lost your
Oh, you mean
audience.
the
You know what I
bartender?
mean? A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Measure this, measure that.
Shit.
Whoop.
That'll be $19.
Yeah.
The drop is $5. Wait, what?
Mhm.
That was a partnership. Yep, I totally meant to drop that. That was part of the show. That was $5 for the drop. It makes it taste better. It's the dust, from the floor mixes in
You
with
ever
the
gotten
air.
a drink that had an orchid on it, and you're like, I know orchids aren't cheap. How much is the drink without the orchid?
I know, right? Especially for me, the fun fact: the orchid is Venezuela's national flower.
Oh,
So,
really?
so I see an orchid. It's like you guys putting a bald eagle. It's like us putting a bald eagle on a drink. You know what I mean? It's like kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, you bastard! This is definitely gonna be expensive, bitches.
Does America have a national flower?
I'm sure. Even our fraternity had a flower.
Yeah, I know. I know our great state of Maryland
rose.
has St. Anthony. The rose is the American flower.
Yep. Apparently, in 1985, the U.S. Senate passed a resolution asking the president to declare the rose as the national floral emblem. So it's 1985.
I feel like we should vote on that. It's so old lady to me.
I mean, that's Reagan for you.
The rose.
I mean, but if you think about it, it's pretty cheesy. And if you give it to America, the lady, it's kind of sexy. Here, America, why don't you pull up that skirt? Uncle Ronnie got you a rose. I can see it. I'm just saying.
Ugh.
Just saying. What flower would you want?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe a lily of some sort.
A lily?
Yeah.
It's not America.
Roses are so just generic. And in our fraternity, the red carnation, I was like, can you be more broke? Can you think of a cheaper flower? Like
Friendship
please.
flower. That's supposed to be friendship. If you give that shit to a potential love mate, people know they're going to leave you. It's asking them to be friends. But I mean, if you think about it, especially these days, America is about Bud Light and big boobs and pride and shit like that. So you gotta combine it all.
Like a sunflower.
A sunflower? That's not America.
Yeah.
That's so lame. Sunflowers don't nuke people.
What about like a Venus flytrap?
Now that I can get behind. That's pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty dope. And it says, you mess with Texas, it fucking bites you, eats you, melt to the tin
How
side.
about some poison sumac?
Ooh. See, now you're working with me here. Now this is making sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not gonna put this to a vote, America. We can do this. We'll actually do this on the FratChat Podcast socials. We'll do it on Instagram, so that confuse everybody. At FratChat Podcast on Instagram. We'll put a little poll when this comes out on Tuesday, and we'll read the results next week and see
Okay, that sounds good.
what America wants. Because it's freedom time, baby. And that's what we want for you. But anyways, got a little news story for you.
Okay.
That I think that you, in particular, are really gonna like. Hold on, it's taking a while. You gotta hit the news music and hit it.
There we go.
It took a while. So, right here in New York City, this little company by the name of don't take this the wrong way, and which is the design studio in the city, has provided New Yorkers, people like you, Simo, a little station where they can relieve themselves, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, Simo.
And I'm talking punching it, and they put public punching bags so they can, you can relieve stress. I don't know what you were thinking, you fucking weirdos out there.
That's not how I relieve stress.
You punch things, right? That's what it is. That's what it's at. Whenever I see you, you're always doing that punching motion. That it just looks like that. And that's the thing, right? That's what you're doing. You're punching. You're punching things, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. So yes, they put these bright yellow punching bags with a display with an image of a fist, and they're labeled public punching bag, use at your own risk. A healthy place for frustrations. And the studio said the concept explores designing common spaces for the frustrations we all face. Frustrations that go beyond design systems and happen, well, because we're all humans. The public punching bag offers an outlet for these emotions as a means to maybe develop a healthier way to address personal collective issues in a public setting. And I'm not gonna lie, I love it. The only thing is that these things are connected to like the light posts and shit, where if this bag is not hardened or is not puffy enough, you're gonna break your fucking hand. So I would maybe put it as a safer way, but how many times have you been walking there, some goddamn tourist like cuts you off, or some fucking weirdo like says something weird, it's like or walking through Times Square, that should just be all over the place. Or walking past the Elmo dudes, it's like
Or it's a narrow sidewalk and there's a couple holding hands and they're walking at a
holy shit, dude.
Like, come on, let's go.
I really don't understand people like that, where it's like they can't do the straight follow the line back to back thing while you pass people. It's like, who the fuck do you think you are? Or when two women are walking by in strollers next to each other, like talking, and they just think the sidewalk's theirs. Like, fuck everybody else. They won't move for anybody behind them. If anybody's coming the other way, they better go around. It's like, I make myself like as unaware looking as possible when I see that case. Because it's like, fuck you, ladies. I know you have a baby. But like, come on. Maybe you should keep your legs closed, bitch.
Yeah.
No. It's just like, come on. Like, women and children always first. We're in a life-saving death situation. You guys go first. But right now, when I'm fucking just trying to get home, they move over a little bit. Come on. Make way for both ways on the sidewalk. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? I know I turned Italian for that, but that's my PSA voice.
I think it's gonna be hard to keep that punching bag sanitary. I don't want to punch. I don't put my hands on anything that a million people put their hands on. I also feel like someone's gonna spray paint Donald Trump's face on it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
People are gonna put people's faces on it for sure. It's gonna be a canvas for art.
Yeah, where's that guy? Banksy, I think is his name. He needs to come and do something with the faces.
Banksy?
Yes. Yeah, his name is Banksy. He's like a famous. He's like spray paints the arts, but he's like so well known now that everybody's like, "Oh, I got Banksied," and they like it. So
I'm gonna get Banksied. I'm gonna get banked.
Yep.
I want my butthole punch.
Oh, yes, Simo. Banksied right in the face.
Yeah.
It comes out colorful. But anyways, Mr. Mo, we have made it here to that particular segment that we all know and love. And it's comedians being passive aggressive for 60 seconds. Let me get my trusty timer up. I think this was it. Yeah. That's not it, but I think it'll work. Anyways, hold on. Sorry, America. and the world. My timer disappeared. It's making me sad. 60-second timer. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Are you ready, Mr. Mo?
Yeah.
I'm ready too. I'm going to do this in 3, 2, 1. And I'm so happy that I could be here with Simo's cousin Earl over here.
Yeehaw.
You look fantastic, Earl. What are we doing? We going to a hootenanny tonight, Earl?
A rodeo.
Yeah.
Question for you. Has anyone ever told you that you look like a young John Stamos?
Oh, really?
Has anyone ever told you that?
No. As a matter of fact, no one
good.
ever.
Yeah, sure. Because if so, I want their name to reach out and make sure that they offer John Stamos a sincere apology.
Yes. Yes, absolutely not one person has ever told me I look like John Stamos.
I was nervous about that.
You know, oh God! But I do see a little Bob Saget in you if you rhymed with a different letter.
What is it rhyme with?
That's comedians being passive aggressive for 60 seconds.
Did you ever see that that Tourette's guy on YouTube who runs around screaming Bob Saget?
No, what?
God damn it, Bob Saget! Rest in peace.
Yeah, right. Does he still say it after he died? Like that's ooh. Or maybe he knows something and the government, censored him.
Maybe. Is
it me or does buying a sex pill at a gas station feel super awkward? You're like walking around and you don't know what to get. The guy's definitely looking at you, judging you with every step. It's super weird. Plus, then we got to talk efficacy. Does it really work? Because my buddy once bought a condom from a gas station, and now he has 3 kids, so you tell me. So it's good to know that Joymoid is not only backed by its users, it's backed by science, people, which goes to show that science can be sexy sometimes. Oh, yeah. Now, let me ask you something. Whether you're happy or unhappy with your performance in the bedroom, why not perform even better? Usain Bolt was the fastest man in the world, and he still wanted to run faster. So why not be an Olympic gold medalist in the bedroom, fellas? Because that's where Joy Mode comes in. Joy Mode's sexual performance booster is like a pre-workout, but for sex. It's designed to support erection quality, firmness, and sex drives. And it contains clinically supported doses of ingredients like arginine nitrate, L-citrulline, Panax ginseng, and vitamin C, which is going to make your boy down below stronger than ever. Oh, yeah. Plus, not only is this the only supplement you'll need in the bedroom, it also supports blood vessel support, cardiovascular and heart health, athletic performance, blood pressure, and general erection function. Plus, here are the game changers. All ingredients have been assessed in peer-reviewed journals, and all ingredients have been studied and researched in humans, so you know it works. And I don't know about you guys, but I'll never go back to over-the-counter drugs after trying Joy Mode. And psst, it's small enough to fit in your wallet and take it with you on the go. It's the perfect travel companion, and it's a powder, so you don't need to worry about it getting crushed in there. So all you got to do, fellas, is just go to usejoymode.com and get 20% off with the promo code FratChat at checkout. That's 20% off and free shipping with promo code FratChat at usejoymode.com. Great sex solved naturally. Oh, yeah.
That was really sad when Bob Saget died.
Dude, his death was crazy, though, because it's, he apparently slipped and fell and smashed the back of his head.
Yeah.
And then he got up and was like, my head hurts, but I'm just going to go to sleep and see how I feel tomorrow. And then he obviously died in his sleep. But he cracked his cranium. He needed to go to the hospital right away. And he was heavily concussed too. That's why he felt so tired. And it's like, if he does call 911, maybe he would have made it, But, your brain swells.
How did he fall?
It looked like he just basically slipped in the bathroom, a little water on the floor or something like that.
The bathroom takes out a lot of people. Bob Saget, Whitney Houston,
Yeah, bathtub.
Elvis.
But you gotta watch out when you're standing like that. And the bathtub thing is raised and right behind you. You can die, people. Especially the back of your head is like the weakest point. It really is not a good point. That's why it's actually illegal to even hit the back of your head in boxing and sports like that. You can get.
Oh, really?
Yep. And there's even been boxers that have gotten like brain damage and shit from hits to the back of the head. So it's bad. It's very bad, very bad, very bad. I don't know how we got into this topic. But rest in peace, Bob Saget. You know, be careful in your bathroom, people. Keep bathroom mats, man. Don't be showering on that straight floor. People don't realize how slippery it is when you get out. I fucking had moments where it's like, you know, and like grab onto like something from my life, the fucking towel rod. Yeah, no, watch out.
Well, I also think it's important to not do a line of coke before you get in the bathtub. That was Whitney's problem.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially after doing several other lines of coke. Prior to that. And then even more before that. So, yeah. R.I.P. Whitney and Bob Saget. And no, Bob Saget was not drug related that we know of. But Whitney's definitely was. Oh, boy. Anywho.
Do you think Betty White snorted coke before she died?
I have a feeling Betty White was fun back in her
You know
day.
what? If I was in my 90s, I would be like, you know what? Let's start some drugs.
Yeah, fuck it.
What's that heroin people are talking about?
Let me just try one
Smoke
thing. Maybe not that far, Jesus. Still want to remember my grandchildren.
I want to go out with a bang.
Yeah. I don't know. I can, but at this point, the stuff I haven't tried, I'm definitely too scared to try. Anything like meth or heroin, fuck that.
I mean,
those are the ones you don't come back from.
Yeah, but I do love being a good painkiller.
Like fucking what's the one? PCP and shit. You don't come back from that shit.
Angel dust.
That's when they find you butt naked in the street getting jumped by six cats.
I'll tell you off air, if I had a comedian invite me to his apartment to do some angel dust, and I didn't know what angel dust was, and I assumed it was coke, but I've never done coke before. And so I told him, no, not really. I've had so many issues with my nose. The last thing I want to do is put stuff in there. It's gonna, you know. So I next day at work, I was telling my coworker, like, this guy wanted me to do angel dust. I've never done coke before. And she was like, that's PCP.
Yeah.
Like, what? And
you remember that Dave Chappelle episode where Wayne Brady gives him angel dust?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And he's like passing out.
Badass in that episode. But I'll tell you off air who that comic is, and you're going to say, holy shit.
Wow. That's wild. That is wild. But yeah, that is not something you people want to try, especially kids listening. You know, smoke a little weed. There's a reason why weed isn't legalized in most places. Now, if it's illegal where you're at, watch out. And especially if they're like chop off your limbs. We got a lot of listeners from a lot of different places in the world, and some of them are not very cool. And watch out going international, people who live in legalized states, because they will chop off your dick. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. You know, in Astoria, in Queens, New York, the majority of our like generic cannabis shops have been closed down. They've been seized by the government.
Ooh, well, see, I knew this would happen. I knew this would happen when the fucking weed became legal. New York dragged its feet on getting like the real government approved dispensaries. So they let all these fucking shops pop up, and literally every like block there was like 6 of them. It was more than a Starbucks with like big ass shiny signs, and no one gave a fuck. And now that they're putting in the dispensaries finally, they can collect the tax money, and they're fucking coming in to shut down the other people so they can get their fine money. So it was a matter of time. I would have never trusted the city if I was these shop owners when it came down time for the weed thing. I literally never would have. So that's on them. Idiots. But there were so many weed shops. I'd rather know, though, between you and I, that the weed I have is like looked at nowadays, because there's so much shit that people put in stuff these days that, if it's at least government approved weed, it's not so bad. I don't have to worry about it. There's no tobacco in it. There's no fucking fentanyl in it. There's nothing weird.
There was a fentanyl case in Astoria in one of the cannabis places, and a SWAT team came in and shut them
That'll
down.
do it.
I was leaving the gym and I was like, "What's going on?" They were like, "Fentanyl. Be careful out there in these streets."
It's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. Like, why would you even put fentanyl in weed, dude? Like, come on. Makes no sense. Weed is like the
I don't know
cheapest
why you
one.
would put fentanyl on anything. If you're trying to make money off drugs, why are you taking out your best
killing?
clients?
Especially with coke heads, man. Coke heads come back. Coke dealers don't like to find more than one coke, or coke buyers don't like to find more than one coke dealer.
Yeah.
So they always have the one guy. That's always that's what they do. It gets complicated when you have multiple. Mm-hmm. And it's sketchy. You know what I mean? It's scary for buying that shit. So you got to watch out. Anyways, Mr. Mo, it's time to get to it, because
if you can do it, put your back into it, boy. What's the topic today?
Hold on. Put my back into it. But
don't hurt yourself.
Let out a fart.
Producers, I think Carlos is having a seizure. Can someone check on him?
Oh God, help! Anyways, this week we're gonna go take a little airplane down to Hollywood, where we're gonna check out some of our favorite celeb siblings. I almost said couples, but that's not what we're doing. We're not getting that weird here. It's the FratChat Podcast. But there's a lot of cool celebrities that have cool ass siblings in Hollywood. And it's kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's really hard to have two celebrity siblings that both make it and both have a cool impact in the biz, as we say, because we're the biz, so we can say the biz. But remember, you're not in the biz, most likely, so you probably can't say in the biz. But anyways, try to keep up. That's what we're gonna do. We got 10 here, and it looks like Mr. Simo even has a special extra one for you guys, and we're gonna give you our favorite celebrity siblings in Hollywood in the biz right here.
Oh shit, I do have an extra one. Oh, I didn't realize that.
That's great. We like extras.
Whoops.
Those are cool. Extras are cool. And speaking of which, I'm gonna be in the West Coast, you guys. I'm heading down there. I'm going back to the Burbank Comedy Festival. That's the week of August 10th through the 17th. Stay tuned for my particular nights performing, but maybe I'll spot some of these celebrity couples, because Julie's coming with me, and we're definitely going to be cruising around Hollywood and all these kinds of places to see, just do a little exploring, and then head to some beaches and stuff as well in the off nights. But yeah, stay tuned. BurbankComedyFestival.com as well for more comedians and details. And anywho, would you like to give us that extra one you got?
You know what? I'm gonna give I feel like, as an honorable mention, we should talk about what we were talking about earlier, and that is the Jacksons, because I feel like that's such an obvious one, but also I was surprised that you didn't have Michael Jackson and Janet on your list, but there's more siblings too. There's LaToya,
That's
and
true.
then there's a whole
Tito. Jermaine. And I think
Jermaine.
That's 5 of them.
Well, I was focusing more on like
Randy, Jackie, Marlon. That's what it is. Randy, Jackie, Marlon. That's what we missed. Well, but here's the thing.
They start off as a sibling group, so
they did. But here's the thing, and even Janet would sometimes sing with them, and then Michael and Janet ended up doing that song "Scream," which at the time his most expensive music video. And I'm not gonna lie, it holds up, you guys. They're rocking in that video.
Oh, yeah,
But
man.
when it comes to everybody that I picked on this list, I feel like the two siblings had comparable impact in Hollywood versus Michael and all of his siblings. And this is no disrespect to every other member of the Jackson Five. There's no disrespect to Janet because they're all very talented, and Latoya is just Latoya, But Michael was just so far ahead of all of them.
At building Legos with its little friends.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, yeah, Simo.
He was just like a better entertainer all around. He was like superior dancer in every way, superior singer in every way. He's like the one that was like the mega star. And Janet was also very popular, don't get me wrong. But like Michael,
He also acted in The Wiz, but do you think he was a good actor? Because I just look at him acting, I'm like, what a homo. I'm like, what a weirdo.
It worked for the Scarecrow. You know the Scarecrow's got to be a little gay, for those moves. Boom, 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 boom. But he was good as long as he was just playing himself. It's really, hi, I'm Michael Jackson. I'm here.
Now,
I know what you're talking about. I'm a phenomenal actor. Okay, you should have seen me testify in court. Michael, no, come on. This is not.
Now, Michael Jackson is known as the king of pop.
That's right.
But then Janet Jackson's sister was announced the legendary queen of pop. I think it's weird that brother and sister are king and queen, but
yeah, I think that's weird. But that's how it used to be back in the kingdoms. So.
Yeah, I guess so.
Now,
a lot of people don't know that Janet is a talented actress, and she got her before it became like a music star. She, as a youngin, was on Good Times, Different Strokes. Fame. And then later on, she was in Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps. Remember
she was in that movie with Ice Cube too, back in the day. Fuck, forget the name. But hold on. On this, I need to tell people because that movie is actually good. It's a Spike Lee.
I think that
movie.
One could argue
Poetic Justice.
Janet, even though Michael is a huge superstar, Janet broke down more barriers being a woman, especially a woman of color in the music industry. So I know that she really paved the way for a lot of people. I actually think that Jennifer Lopez has credited Janet Jackson for a lot of her success.
Well, yeah, she used to be Janet's background dancer too.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. Michael Jackson was the first and only pop star to chart on a rock and roll station because Beat It was so goddamn good, and he got Eddie Van Halen to come in there and rock, brother. And he was black and white while doing these things. He was his record to this day, and actually this past week, just won again like the best record of all time, Thriller, beating out like a bunch of, it was on puberty.com, I believe it was. So, a couple million people voting these things, and it still beat out, a lot of good artists.
Remember who else was up for that title?
There was the Slim Shady LP was in there. Marshall Mathers LP was in there. I think there was something with Jay-Z. There was stuff with Tupac. There was
Amy Winehouse, Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill. Please.
I don't think that those were in there.
Aerosmith?
I don't know that Aerosmith was also in there. And I love Aerosmith, but I don't know if I would put any other records.
Spice Girls?
No, Simo. I'm sorry.
The world has awful taste in music.
I feel like a doctor just telling his patient, like, I'm sorry, it's not. The patient didn't make it. Spice Girls, Wannabe.
Didn't make it. What about the Beatles?
There were some Beatles record in there, but I don't remember the rest, to be honest. I'll look it up. Maybe I can find it by the end of this episode. But anywho, yeah, I think that Michael is just too far advanced. Where I just, at the time when I was putting together this list, it didn't even hit me that he had 9 siblings that I could choose from. I just think of Michael as Michael Jackson, man. He's the fucking man. He's the
It's so funny
guy.
'cause I think of him as like a pedo.
Ooh, this is awkward. Well, as far as his entertainment goes, I think he's the man. But the video is hard to ignore. The documentary, I will say, it is hard to ignore.
It's so bad.
It's really,
Neverland.
yeah, it's really fucking bad, man. You just you can't. If any of it is true, it's like really fucking bad. You know what I mean? But technically, he was acquitted in court. I don't know. It's such a muddy issue. But it's like with OJ, like sure he was innocent, but So
I feel like if Michael Jackson was given like an ink blot test, it would be clearly like a butterfly. He'd be like scrotum. What? No. And then the next one would be like a star. And he'd be like taint. No, Michael, no. No. What?
That's a penis. I definitely know that. Oh, Michael, it's a pipe. What the hell?
Yeah.
Stop saying they're all penises.
I feel like he always had kids on the mind. He's always talking about children are our future. No, children.
I will say.
And I just can't get past
Oh,
that.
God. I was going to say he put his money where his mouth is, but I don't think that's an appropriate thing to say. Because he did give a ton of money, and I say a ton, millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to different children organizations and like African kid charities and shit.
Was guilt? Do you think it might have been guilt?
Ooh, no. I think he genuinely liked kids. Oh God, I need to watch my wording.
Oh.
Yeah, man, you're not helping. What are you doing? I'm sorry, Michael. Yeah, I think he genuinely did care for like kids things. Like, like I donate to St. Jude's every month. Not a lot because I'm poor, but as much as I can. And it's the kids are a soft subject in my heart, but not like I want to touch them. So I would give him the benefit of the doubt on that. But there are 2 court cases, so it's kind of tough. 2 court cases in a documentary. So it's kind of hard to give him the benefit of the doubt sometimes. So I don't know. I just close my eyes and I turn up the Thriller.
Well, who is first on your list?
So up first on my
on
list.
The official list.
On the official list, I'm going to start with an easy one. These 2 bros, they're, especially one of their personal lives is always under a microscope, while the other one's kind of under the radar a lot. But I just really dig both of their acting, and I feel like depending on the movie, you can kind of interchange them into different things. But they're totally different actors, and I dig them for that. And it's Ben and Casey Affleck, who have both made some good-ass movies. And I really feel like they're very equal in the terms of the things they have done, because they've been in some blockbusters. They've been in some Oscar-nominated shit. But I think I like Casey Affleck better as a dramatic actor, and I like Ben better as that little bit of like a action twist to it. Like he was he was like a great Batman in my opinion, even though he got shit on because he came after Christian Bale, which is going to be a tough act for anybody to follow. But he was also in this movie The Accountant a couple of years ago. That was fucking bad ass. And actually Casey Affleck is in that movie as well, and he's also a badass in it, but in a different way, kind of psychotic. But yeah, I still think that Casey's just like a better dramatic actor. Like when you see that guy get sad, you almost like feel sad for him. But yeah, that is my first one. Casey,
What was the superhero movie that Ben Affleck was in?
he did Batman,
But
and
another one.
hold on, the dude that can't see.
Elektra. That's how you met Jennifer Garner.
It's not Deadpool. God, I know this. It's a Marvel superhero.
I remember he was really good in Good Will Hunting as a supporting actor. He was really
Daredevil.
good.
God damn it.
Daredevil, that's it. He was also in Armageddon. He's
Yes,
fantastic in that.
He was fantastic in that. Yeah, he's been in a lot of good stuff. And he's
having some drama with Jennifer Lopez right now. That's what the tabloids are saying.
I know. Apparently they moved out. That's what they're saying. And I saw a clip of both her, J-Lo, and Jennifer Gardner like going to like his new house or something. And that's like, ooh, that's awkward.
Mm-hmm.
That's so
Is
awkward.
it an intervention?
I don't know. Hopefully it's a threesome, because otherwise there's no other scenario where it's not extremely awkward. And even a threesome might be very awkward. A battle of the ex-wives.
Ben, if you're listening, if you can't satisfy one woman, what makes you think you can satisfy two? I'm just saying. Think your head.
Oh.
Well, my first on the list, on my legit list, not an honorable mention, this is going to be Jessica Simpson and Ashley Simpson.
Oh.
Now, Jessica Simpson was originally on the radar being a pop sensation during the Britney and Christina Aguilera era. And I think what separated Jessica Simpson was the reality show that she did with Nick Lachey called Newlyweds on MTV. Yeah. And that lasted only a couple years because, unfortunately, the Newlyweds didn't make it. And there was a spin-off. There was a secondary character in Newlyweds named Ashley Simpson. And then there was a spin-off show. It was like the Ashley Simpson Show or something. But I will say that it's got to be tough for Ashley Simpson to live in her sister's shadow, because Jessica Simpson is such a hugely successful businesswoman.
Totally.
So Jessica Simpson launched what's called the Jessica Simpson Collection in 2005, a fashion-focused line with 34 product categories. It's earned over $1 billion in revenue and remains as the most successful celebrity licensing brand in history. Meanwhile, at the same time, so while Jessica Simpson's making her $1 billion, meanwhile, Ashley Simpson, her record skipped on SNL, revealing that she was lip singing and she did a hoedown before exiting the stage. So obviously they have very different trajectories in their success.
And I mean, fortunately, Ashley did develop her signature sound after that horrible glass chewing incident. You know, her voice is very, very particular, if you hear her saying.
Can you imagine being it like
on a Monday?
Pieces of me. Can you imagine like being at Thanksgiving and going around like, hey, what's new with everyone? And Jessica Simpson saying, my company just earned $1 billion in revenue. Like, Ashley, how about you?
How's SNL?
The house.
I don't want to talk about it.
The house because people keep making fun of me. They made fun of me on South Park. They made fun of me on Family Guy. They made fun of me. You know what I mean? Like,
everywhere.
I can't imagine. Yeah.
But here's the thing. They say any publicity is good publicity. That stupid incident made her like a household name.
Yeah. That's true.
Where if it would have gone well, who knows? Like, probably nothing. Like I mean, sure, she would have gotten a bump in her listens, but like, you know, we just gone and came and went, like SEMA on a Tuesday night, and no one went down.
On a Tuesday, I'm fading.
You make me want a lot. Jessica, I need water.
She said, sorry guys, I had acid reflux. Okay.
Excuse me. I will say,
That's like me.
acid reflux does suck. I've had it a couple times, and you get like stomach acids and you're stuck in your throat. You just like, ugh. It like hurts to like breathe. So
Really?
if she actually does have it, that sucks. I
Do you
wouldn't want to
think
say.
that was the legit excuse, or she's just being lazy? I feel like because they said she missed some of the rehearsals because of her acid reflux. I think she was just young and irresponsible and missed rehearsals, didn't feel comfortable going on stage, and was like, you know what,
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
think
lip
so.
singing it and call it a
I'm with
day.
you. I'm with you there, especially when you're young and you're partying and you think that opportunities are going to be in every fucking corner. Yeah, you take things for granted. That's, you know, if you do it now, you probably wouldn't. So that's why I'm glad I wasn't
Yeah,
a child star, because I think I do think I would have probably like done well as a kid star. 'Cause I was a cute kid and I had a big vocabulary and I could speak English at a young age, so I was bilingual. But I would have been that fucking kid doing cocaine at 13 with Drew Barrymore in the bathroom, like. Carlos, there's no music. Why are you dancing? Because I'm the fucking man, Mom. So yeah, I don't know. Or I would have been like Nickelodeon, and it wouldn't have been good either way. It would have been slime time, if you know what I mean.
If you were a child actor at Nickelodeon, you would have been in that documentary about getting touchy with the producers.
That would have been my claim to fame. So I'm glad that I started, in my 20s officially pursuing it, because whew, I know that I know I would have been a casualty of the biz for sure. That would have chewed me up and spit me out. Oh man, pass me around like currency. But anyways, I am impressed that you at least pick siblings that are, further apart from each other. Like mine are all very close in accomplishments and stuff, so at least the conversations aren't so awkward. But Jessica and Ashley, whew, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. So I appreciate you for doing that. But up next,
man,
on mine, I'm gonna go stick with the bros. And I realized I do have a lot of bros, and I don't mean to. Maybe it's because I have a brother, so that's just what came to mind first. But I'm going to go back to really the 90s, where these guys made most of their impact, but they carried on to the early 2000s, and they're still doing stuff today, and they have a podcast together as well. I'm talking about the Lawrence brothers, Joey, Matthew, and Andy Lawrence. And, of course, Joey was the first one that got famous. He was on that show Blossom with his famous catchphrase, "Whoa," which everybody loved. Made him whoa. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. It was so dumb, but so good. And, you got Matthew, who was in Mrs. Doubtfire, Boy Meets World, a bunch of other shit. And Andy as well has been in a bunch of other shit. Disney movies, galore, TV shows. There was a time where I really felt like if you turn on a movie in the 90s or a TV show in the early 2000s, you were bound to see one of these three guys. But
I don't remember the youngest. I'm looking online right now. I'm like,
he looks a little different because he used to have more like a bowl cut, but he would do like weird roles. But he had one in Disney where he was like a mermaid, I think.
Okay.
But he was good. He was good. He was a good.
Is he a singer too?
No.
Are they all
musically
inclined?
I think no, they're not the Jonas Brothers. I think this one's just an actor. Holy shit, it's crazy. This guy, Andy, the youngest one, he is my age and he has the same birthday as me. So we're literally the exact same age. That is weird. That is weird. So January 12th, buddy. Andy Lawrence, if you're listening, we're going wild, brother. Woo! But yeah, those three bros could act the fuck out of movies and stuff. And I love Matthew, for example, in Boy Meets World. He was great as Sean's brother. He had a recurring character that became full-time cast member. That was really good. And the other one, I'm just blanking on. Oh yeah, Mr. Bean. Andy was in the Mr. Bean movie.
Oh, really?
That's a class. And Jack Frost, bunch of good stuff. Brothers of the Frontier was a movie that all three of them did in the '90s. That was really good as well. So, yeah, the three of them have definitely done a bunch of good stuff. So those are my bros. I give it to the bro. I like, honestly, especially because me and my brother are like, we have a pretty good relationship now, but it took forever for us to be able to be cool because we're just two Garcias. So we fought a lot when we were kids. So I think I respect brotherly relationships where they've always managed to be cool with each other. And, you just see them and they're like, just like loving, supportive bros.
Now, let me ask you, if you put Joey, Matthew, and Andy Lawrence together as one entity, could that one entity compete with the success of Jonathan Taylor Thomas? Because when I think of 90s, like, it people, Jonathan Taylor Thomas was like the person.
He was the person. He was the person. Yeah, I would say because Jonathan Taylor Thomas was like, and it's weird because he was so young too, but he had that perfect hair, so everybody loved him. So you think about it, Joey had the perfect hair, and he was older, so it was more age appropriate to have a crush on him if you were talking about back in those days. But Home Improvement was definitely way more successful than any TV show that the Lawrence brothers did, in my opinion, including Blossom. Blossom was very successful, but Home Improvement was like a fucking ratings juggernaut back in the day. And Jonathan Taylor Thomas also was the voice of Simba in The Lion King. So, it's hard to beat that 90s career as Jonathan Taylor Thomas. But I will say the Lawrence brothers are still working versus Jonathan Taylor Thomas hasn't really done anything in years. So, got to give it to the longevity in the biz for the bros. So, just saying.
I'm looking at a picture of Jonathan Taylor Thomas now, and it's so upsetting.
Really?
Oof, woof.
Let me see.
Almost unrecognizable.
Oh, yeah, he gained a little weight.
Yikes. Ooh, let's change the topic. Next up. Ooh, oh my God. Listeners, Google at your own risk.
He's fine. He's just put on a little weight.
He is far from fine. I'll tell you that. Okay, so next on my list, I have Beyonce and what's her little sister's name? Solange Knowles.
That's right.
No, Beyonce is, I mean, the most decorated Grammy winner of our lifetime. She is maybe the most famous musician of our lifetime, and she is the moment.
No.
And then her sister tried. Now her sister does have a
sister is famous for punching Jay-Z in an elevator. So
yes, that's probably the most important contribution to pop culture. And then did she do it because he was cheating on her?
That's right.
Is that why?
That's reportedly, like, that wasn't fucking there, but that's what they say, that she was confronting him about it too. Like, you fucking asshole, you're always cheating on my sister, you bitch. And he was like he was sitting there like, yeah, whatever, bitch. So
he probably said
fish.
Yeah, he looks like a fish to me.
He does. He is. I mean, he's definitely not getting brownie points on his looks. Let's just say that.
No way.
He definitely got himself way above his pay grade with Beyonce. So I don't know how you could cheat on Beyonce when you look like Jay-Z. Let's just say that. But
I feel like if I was Jay-Z and I scored Beyonce as my life partner, I would try a lot harder to keep her satisfied. with
Like, I
Mike.
feel like it would be the other way around. You know what I mean? Like, Beyonce would be the one cheating on him.
Yeah.
With, like, the pool boy or something like that with, like, the six-pack abs. Like, because Beyonce, like, good Lord, that lady, she does it for me. Let's just say that.
Oof.
So, I don't know that I could have that at home and be shopping around. But I also don't have Jay-Z money and don't have, like, thousands upon thousands of women with double D's throwing themselves at me every day, you know? So, I guess, you got to walk a mile in each other's booby shoes before you make judgment of what you can resist. So, but I'd like to think that if I had Beyonce at home, I'm literally just never leaving. Like, I'm going to work, I'm going to do a show, and I'm going right back home to Beyonce. So that's just me. That is just me. But yes, I do feel like the thing with Solange is like she is also very talented, but like, how do you top Beyonce,
in my
dude?
opinion.
She's just, if she was an unknown with no famous siblings and you just judged her on her own singing voice, I mean, she's pretty good. She's great. But when you have Beyonce, it's like the Michael Jackson thing. It's like Beyonce's just so far ahead.
A foot in the door if it wasn't for Beyonce.
That's true. That's 1,000% true. But it also is like big shoes to fill situation when you have a sibling that successful and that talented. Because Beyonce is like, she definitely borrows a lot from Michael Jackson and like Diana Ross. She kind of like combines a little bit of both of their elements, but she's such a showman. You know, like I've seen her live and it's fucking amazing. You can't. Her and Jay-Z live, it's like he was struggling to keep up with her, in my opinion. Her shit is so good. And she like dances, she does the whole 9 yards. So it's just, how the fuck do you top that type thing, in my opinion? So I wouldn't want to be related to her. Fuck that. But anyways.
Anywho, who's next on your list?
Up next on the list, I'm going to go this time to the sisters. Especially the sisters. Because I'm going to go with Tia Tamara, and I'm going to throw in Taj Mowry in there. Because Sister and Smart Guy were two of my shows, man. And ironically enough, they were both shows that kind of like got canceled and picked up and canceled again, and they just never really left on a satisfying note. I think they both deserved better, but especially Smart Guy. Why are they canceling that goddamn show? Huh? People loved it. It's fucking fantastic. It holds up to this day. It was a good-ass show. They just canceled it with no warning. At least you let Sister have like 9 seasons. Smart Guy had like 3 or 4.
We first saw Taj as a guest star in Full House. He was one of Michelle's friends, right?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. And he was such a little smart ass. He was so good. He was so good. And
adorable.
And both Sister and Smart Guy were phenomenal shows, but like the casting on both shows were just very funny. Like in Sister, you have Lisa, the mom, and Ray, the dad, who were both phenomenal actors, and they were a bunch of stuff since. But in Smart Guy, the guy who played the dad was really good. The brother Marcus on the show was really good, and the friend Mo, who is Cuba Gooding Jr.'s brother, actually.
Oh, really?
Yep, and that guy was really good. And you've seen him in a lot of stuff as well. The guy who played Mo, he's been in a lot of gangster movies and shit like that since. But it's just, man, those shows were so funny and entertaining, and they were such a big part of my childhood. And I really do hold them kind of equally up, because I feel like they would follow each other on TV a lot too, especially once it was on syndication and on like the Disney Channel, where I just like I can't think of one without the other type thing. And I just, goddamn, they were still good. And Tia and Tamara, they've done a million things since that show together and separately, but you know, they're still at it.
Wasn't one of them on like Talk Super? No, or like The Talk, or it's like it's like a copycat of The View, but it's called The Talk, right?
I think so. The Real, that's what it is.
The Real?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, that's what it is. It's Tamara. but she's not on it anymore. Yeah, it's kind of like a ripoff of the Soup, or the other one,
The
the Talk,
View.
the
My
View. I
worldly
don't
lies
fucking
with The View because Whoopi Goldberg's on The View, and she's my everything.
know.
And Rosie O'Donnell
Whoopee.
used to be on the View, and I love Rosie.
Mm. You know who doesn't love Rosie? Where's Rosie? I can't believe it. No, get out of here. We're not doing it. Not doing it this week. Yep. That was close. That was close. Anyways, what you got
Next
next?
I have on my list is Maggie and Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, that's a good one. Those are
I
good
think
ones.
Maggie's older, and she's married to Peter Sarsgaard, and they both live in Cobble Hill, Brooklyn. I've seen Peter on the street before. Seems like a very nice couple, very down to earth, very sweet. I've seen them interact with other people. Jake Gyllenhaal, I've never met, but I know people who have met him and said that he's also very friendly and very sweet. I think that they're both pretty accomplished actors. I don't know if I could pick a better of the two. I know Maggie had a lot of success with a movie. I think she may have wrote the screenplay and directed it too. I forget, but she got a lot of attention. And then, of course, Jake was nominated for an Oscar for his role in Brokeback Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Jake is like ripped now. He's like a
Yes.
boxing sensation.
Well, he just did a Roadhouse where he played an MMA
Yeah.
fighter. So, and he's done like boxing movies and stuff before. So he's gotten jacked up before. He's got a lot of range, I will say, because he was fantastic. The first thing I remember seeing him wasn't Donnie Darko. I saw that years later. It was Bubble Boy. And he literally plays a fucking kid with immunities who's stuck in a bubble. And he has like wacky hair and he's like really sweet and shy, but he's also very fucking funny in that as like this bubble boy out into the world for the first time as he tries to chase down the girl that he loves. But Maggie was also fantastic in The Dark Knight, in the Batman movie. And
Rest in peace, girl.
I know when they kill her there.
Did her dirty.
That was not cool. I never thought I would get teary-eyed in a Batman movie, but they got me. And she's been in a bunch of other good shit. I think this is one where...
Well, she did Lost Daughter. In 2021, she made her writing and directing debut with the psychological drama The Lost Daughter, for which she won Venice International Film Festival Best Screenplay Award and was nominated for Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay.
Whoa, good for her. Yeah, they're both killers. Like I don't think you could pick one between these two. This is a very neck and neck race. Kind of like my number one. You'll see. I don't know that I can pick one with them. But my number two, I definitely can. And I got Ben and Fred Savage. And actually, I don't know if I can.
Relationship to Dan Savage.
Dan Savage. I don't know if there's that many Savages, but it's not the Wayans. No. Definitely not. Definitely
it's like a journalist or something.
Yeah. But Ben and Fred Savage, they both been in iconic things, like Fred in The Wonder Years, The Princess Bride, and so on. And Ben in Boy Meets World, still fucking a show that I watched today. Like I literally just restarted. Really? I just restarted the show with Julie because the guys who play Sean, Eric, and the girl that plays Topanga have a podcast together where they kind of go
through. Official.
That's right. They go through each episode and they reminisce about it, what it was like shooting it. So it's cool because you learn a lot of memories and stuff and a lot of cool back information about the show, but it's also fun to find out like how things were shot, you know what I mean, from an actor standpoint. And they bring in some of the actors from the show and shit. So I've been listening to that, and so I started the show again just to kind of go through it along with them. And It's fantastic. It really holds up. It's still very funny. I think if I had to say, I mean, I think Fred Savage definitely had more of an impact in a wider variety of things, but I love Ben Savage so much as Corey in Boy Meets World that it's like that show is really one of my favorite shows of all time, that it's hard for me to vote against him. So I recuse myself in having to pick one, because The Princess Bride is fantastic and The Wonder Years was an iconic show, but I wasn't really a big Wonder Years kid. Like, it was just right before my time. Simo was like 23 during those years, so maybe it's more for him. But Boy Meets World was like my show. Like, they were like about my age. It was just the perfect thing.
That's funny, 'cause that's how I feel Wonder Years.
and the thing is, and you know, and that's the thing. I feel like if you grow up with shows like that, they become your show, and it's, you know, they become like ingrained in your childhood type thing. So it's hard to vote against them. I will say, Boy Meets World is better than the TV show pitched by Simo's uncle, which is World Meets Boy. They got the FBI called on him. So, you know, totally different shows. Don't find World Meets Boy.
Uncle Eddie, stick with what you're good at. And
that's right, Uncle Eddie. Only 10 more years to her home, buddy. Woo!
You had his life. All you had to do is sit on the couch and collect disability. That's
right. That's right. Anywho, what you got next?
All right, next up for me, I have Macaulay Culkin and Kieran Culkin.
Oh yeah.
Now, Macaulay Culkin, when I was younger, was like the go-to child actor. Whether you asked Hollywood or you asked Michael Jackson, he was the go-to child actor. And I remember him in the movie My Girl.
Friends. Okay, don't start anything. It was all allegedly. He said I didn't touch him.
I would love to pick Macaulay's brain and be like, tell me about your relationship with Michael Jackson. I would love, because he's never commented. I'm like, there is.
Well, he said he never touched him or anything, and he testified in court on his behalf, saying that he never fucking did anything to him. So I will say,
I don't know. So anyway,
but behind the scenes, you know, off the record, yes, I would love to see what he has to say.
Well, Macaulay Culkin was in the movie My Girl, where he was murdered by bees.
Bees. That made me terrified of bees for years.
Oh my gosh, it's such a sad scene. And
then
he played a really sick psycho in the movie The Good Son. He was in.
God, that was so good, dude. And he was like a fucking child in that role. And the kid that played Elijah Wood was really good as the good kid in wrestling terms, the baby face. Those kids were fucking acting their asses off. But he was so good at like the dead eyes when he would kill things.
Oh my gosh, so good.
Fucking that kid should have won an Oscar as a kid.
Yeah. I think he was in a movie with the guy from Cheers. It was called like Getting Even with Dad or something, or
yes, he was. That movie was great. He was in Richie Rich, which was also fantastic.
Yeah, so he had a great career then, but Kieran Culkin has a great career now.
Yeah.
So I think that he now Kieran Culkin we first saw as the little boy that wets the bed. He drinks too much before he goes to bed and he goes puking in the sheets
brother
at Home Alone 1 and 2. But he later went on to win an Emmy and a Golden Globe for his work in Succession. So I don't know if I could choose between the two, because they both have their own success in their own era. You know what I mean?
Totally. And Kieran Culkin was in Father of the Bride too, you know, as well. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. He's had a great career. I do think though that, I mean, Macaulay made so much fucking money that he literally like got himself emancipated from his parents, and he's still rich as piss. He did recently make a comeback. He was an American Horror Story in one season, and he was very good. So he still got it. I don't know if he'll go do more acting. I just think that he made so much money that he just like Like, doesn't need to ever do anything ever again. Those Home Alone residuals alone will just cover him forever, like, in my opinion.
He
Especially Christmas time.
I think he was in a movie called Saved with Mandy Moore.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. And he played like the weirdo religious kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes, he was. But he hasn't really done a lot since. I just think, he like did it all as a child. So in my opinion, it's one of those things like where you just get so high in the mountain where it's like, how much higher am I going to climb? You know what I mean? Like he fucking did it all.
He even hosted SNL as
as a
11-year-old
goddamn kid. Like, it was literally like the only thing that he didn't do as a kid was win an Oscar. And it's kind of like, I mean, that's, a lot of actors don't win Oscars, so he can hang his hat on having the most successful career ever before like the age of fucking 15 and not even have to work again. So I give it to him. Like, it's like, and plus I feel like this has never happened to me, but I also haven't made it to the level that he has, obviously, where it's like, I just feel like, we look at being on set as magical and shit. And maybe eventually he got bored because he saw it as a kid. And now when you grow up, it's like, it can't be the same magic. You know what I mean? So I'm sure it's maybe lost a little of its spark. But whenever he still does it, he still got it. Those are two talented ass brothers. I'll give you that. In the words of Hulk Hogan. Brother. Anywho, I'm down.
What's your top one?
To one last one. And I'm going to go back to the brothers, brother, because these two have been in so many iconic comedies and even some serious work. They've done superhero shit. They've done it all. And here's the thing. I can't pick one because I've loved so much of each other's work. It's very tough. But these bros, I had to give it to number one because of the combined number of hilarious movies that I loved. I got to go with Luke and Owen Wilson. But for example, you got Luke Wilson, who has been, and even just in his TV roles, like he was in that 70s show as a side character after he was already famous. And he was fucking fantastic in that. But he was in Idiocracy, which is a fantastic movie. He was in Old School, which is one of the movies that, at this point I'm in high school. So you've seen this. These are like the comedies of my youth. He was in Anchorman, which is another fantastic movie. He was in Scream 2. Blue Streak back in the day. Done a bunch of different ones. You got Owen Wilson, who
Marley and Me.
What's that?
Marley and Me.
Yeah, he did Marley and Me. Zoolander. Most recently, movies like Mastermind. He was doing Marvel stuff. Drill Bit Taylor, Night at the Museum, Wedding Crashers, Starsky and Hutch, Shanghai Noon with Jackie Chan is fucking fantastic in Shanghai Night. Meet the Parents with Ben Stiller. He has done so many good movies that it's tough to pick between them. The only thing that separates them, in my opinion, is one word and one word only. Wow.
I thought you were going to say nose.
Wow. That's true. The nose.
Wow.
The nose will always make you remember what brother is who. I'll tell you that much. But Luke Wilson doesn't have a catchphrase. So maybe I'll give it to Owen as number one brother just because of wow.
Luke was in, what's the movie with Reese Witherspoon where she, oh shit.
Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde.
He's a lawyer in that, isn't he?
That's iconic.
Yeah, they both really have a grade A resume, and they're still going at it. Like, they're still working just as much. So good for those bros. I have to keep them at number one just because a lot of the other people on my list had big epic moments, but then they, disappeared and are now doing more. And not to be disrespectful, but it's, B-list movies, things like that, which again, any actor would kill to be doing. But you got Luke Wilson and Owen Wilson who are still doing like Marvel shit and, getting paid big budget flick movie money. So I got to give him number one. That's on my side of the fence. But what you got?
Well, my number one is I'm bringing it back to, I guess, my generation. And back in the day, we had a magazine called Teen Beat Magazine. And that had all the hot heartthrobs from like, sitcoms. And this guy was frequently in this magazine. His name is Kirk Cameron.
Yes,
he was the character Mike Seaver in the show called Growing Pains. Yep. And his little sister, Candace Cameron, now Candace Cameron Bure, she was DJ in Full House.
You know what's funny? I had no idea until just now that they were related.
Oh, really?
Never knew.
Brother and sister, and they're
both just blew my mind. Freaks. I'm like, what? Yeah, she's a crazy Jesus freak now, which just blows my mind because she's smoking hot. But he was always like out with it. I feel like she waited until she was like maybe a mom to like really come out strong with it.
And but she's like, I gave her leeway. I was like, whatever. Like she she loves her religion. It's fine. But then she recently took an executive role at Great American Media in an effort to focus more on good family entertainment, which she said would not include LGBTQ themes. Because in her opinion, an American family doesn't have any queerness. And let me tell you, every American family has some queerness somewhere. Someone's got a cousin or aunt or an uncle or a sibling or somebody who's, queer in some capacity. So it's unavoidable. That's life. That's the American way. That's the human way. You know what I mean?
Totally. Like it annoys me when it's like people get so like defensive. Like, oh my God, another gay character. It's like, dude, it's like one gay character and a cast of like 30 straight ones. Like that is about the odds that you get walking down the street, you find a gay guy. Like that's called correct casting. Like, what do you mean? It's not like, it's just maybe because back in the day, everybody was in the fucking closet about it. So they're putting all the movies with white straight dudes that you think are white straight dudes are just banging each other in each other's closet. But no, man, you're not changing. You're just adding a little inclusion for everybody to make it how the fucking world actually is. Unless you're in goddamn like Idaho, if you walk around most big cities in America, it's not going to be all white people. So if you're doing a film that's set in New York City, I'm sorry, you got to have some minorities and a couple gays in there.
Listen, if you're filming a show in West Hollywood, San Francisco, Chicago, New York City, Atlanta, Miami, there needs to be a gay character in that show.
Absolutely.
I saw a screening of a movie one time, and it was set in New York City, and everyone in the cast and all the background actors were all white, and I was like, "What New York is this? What New York is this?"
It's absurd. Now, if we go to Tulsa, Oklahoma, TV shows are there. I expect a lot of white dudes and maybe some Native Americans, and that's about it. No expect to see much else. You go to North Dakota, all white people, no problem with that. That's what you got. But yeah, dude, how do you have a show in New York City and it's all white people walking around? Well, this is the financial district. Get out of here. That isn't cool. So yeah, I'm with you. But I will say those two. I would have said that Kirk Cameron had the more successful career because he was just such an icon back in the day. But both Growing Pains and Full House, I feel like are those Growing Pain is the Full House of the 80s. You know what I mean? Like they're both the it family show of their decade. So I got to give them that they're pretty set equal.
Kirk Cameron to me though was like the central character.
Whereas, he really was.
DJ had to share the stage. Share the spotlight, and ultimately, I feel like the Olsen twins became more of like the focus,
the lovable sister. And I'm not gonna lie, I liked Stephanie more than I did DJ. I thought DJ was adorable later on. Like I had a crush on DJ, but like I thought Stephanie was the more likable sister in the show, even though she was kind of annoying. She had more of like the comedic personality. DJ was more like the straight person. All pun intended now. Just how she likes it. Pow!
I would love to see a tabloid where someone comes forward, some female, and says, Candace Cameron Bure and I played Kissy Face at the club once. I would love to hear something like that.
Whenever
that would make my day. Happy Pride.
Yeah, whenever people are that fucking rigid about it, and me too. I just want to hear some story, some dirt, because there always is. There always is. But anyways, Kirk Cameron and Candace the Straight Cameron Bure or Bure, I don't know how to pronounce it. That's a good one to end it with. And so that was our list. Ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you thought of our celebrity siblings list. And give us a follow on all social channels. And we are going to put up that poll on Tuesday. Today, as this comes out. And so keep an eye out for it on our story on Instagram. Again, that's FratChat Podcast. But you can give us a follow everywhere else. On Facebook, on Threads, on YouTube, at FratChat Podcast, on Twitter /X as well. You can give me a follow at Carlos Does the World on Instagram, on Facebook, on Threads, on TikTok. Carlos Does World, Twitter /X, and CarlosGarciaComedy.com, my website. You can check out show dates, all the good stuff. Learn a little bit about moi. You can do it all. CarlosGarciaComedy.com. And it's CarlosGarciaComedy.com, not dot. I don't know why I keep adding the goddamn dot. But you can get my funny Simo here a follow as well at Chris.Moore.comedy. That's why, because he has the dots. And you can add him, Chris.Moore.comedy, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, and see more comedy on Twitter /X, which still feels weird to me. You can just go to x.com and go to Elon Musk's website. It's weird. But Twitter, you'll always be tweeting to me. But anyways, Mr. Mo, it's time for us to roll. So won't you get us out of here?
I motion to adjourn this meeting so I can go celebrate my Pride Month.
Yes. Yeah, I gotta say yes, Queen. All right, you guys will be back next week with another edition of the greatest podcast in the history of podcasting time. It's the FratChat Podcast. Now, happy Pride. Get out of here and do something awesome. See ya.